Now we're joined by head coach Phil Neville and captain Gregor. We'll get started with opening remarks.
Welcome, buenas tardes. Well, I think we're all really excited about this occasion. I think from the minute that it was announced, this game, it's created an awful lot of excitement. I said maybe 10 days ago that this was the biggest game in the club's history, and I think I saw a little bit of criticism flying around. But it's the biggest game in the club's history because of the size of the club that we've managed to bring to our city. I think when you talk about Barcelona, you talk about an institution of football with the history that they've got, one of the biggest clubs, one of the biggest sports brands in the whole of the world. And, you know, when you are into year 3 of your expansion and you manage to bring a club of this size to South Florida, there's been an awful lot of great work being done by a lot of great people in this club. Xavi Asensi's obviously got connections at Barcelona, and he's worked tirelessly, and we owe him an awful lot in terms of the work that he's done to bring a club like Barcelona. And we've sold out this stadium for the first time. That's why it's so big. It's on television all the way around the world. That's why it's so big. And it's going to be the most amazing occasion, I think, from the minute that we scored that winning goal against Charlotte on Saturday. The attention has been turned to this game and the excitement. And it's always when you get a match of this magnitude that every single player in the squad wants to play, and every single player in the squad has no fatigue, has no tiredness, has no strains. And every single one of them wants to play. So we're going to give opportunities to everybody in the squad. But what I would say is that we, in life and my experience of being probably on the other side of this, being an EPL club coming to this part of the world, that there is no friendlies. You okay? There is no friendlies. We want to compete. We want to make sure that we give Barcelona a good game. We want to test ourselves against the best players, the best teams, the best coaches. And tomorrow night, I want my team to be competitive. You imagine the confidence coming out of this game when, as an individual or as a team, you've played really well and you've competed against some of the best players, will make us even better against NYC on Saturday. So we're really excited. We've got a fully fit squad. We've got a couple of knocks that we need to check on in the morning. And I've got to say, it's a really proud moment for everybody connected to the club that a team like Barcelona have come to South Florida, to Inter Miami, to play this game tomorrow night. And I hope that everybody involved enjoys it, and we see a fabulous game of football, and we see what elite football is all about. Yeah, well, I think, you know, we're going to probably bring 2 or 3 of the MLS2 guys in just to experience it, sit on the bench, experience what it's like. And we saw Barcelona at the training facility this morning, and there's just a different feel, the way that they act, the way that they behave, the way that they pass the ball, the way that the technique. And I said that it's a great learning experience, but I understand totally what the captain says, is that we're here to compete. We're here to challenge ourselves. We're not here to get autographs or to swap shirts. We're here to win this game of football. And like I say, I came here with Manchester United. I came here with Everton. And I remember playing a game in Salt Lake City for Everton twice. And if you go out with the attitude that these games are going to be easy, they're not. This is a competitive game. Everton got beat by an MLS side because the MLS side wanted to compete. They wanted to show what they were about. They wanted to test themselves against the best. And that's what we have to do tomorrow night. Yes, be proud that you're on the same pitch. Afterwards, maybe get a selfie. That's the way of the world these days. But during that 90 minutes, enjoy the game, compete in the game, and test yourselves against the best. If you're a right back, test yourself against the best. If you're a centre back, see how you perform against the best. Because I tell you, people say, "Oh, we're going to suffer on Saturday. We're going to suffer down the line." No, this will help us. This will help us. 1, it'll show us how far we've come as a team. 2, it'll show us how far individuals have got to go until they get to that level. Because when we recruited these players, they all wanted to play in Champions League football. They wanted to play in World Cups. Well, tomorrow night is your chance to prove or to take a step forward. And that's why I think that this can only be positive. Positive into our season, positive in the development of our players, and positive for this football club worldwide.
Next question, Franco, then Jose.
Hey, Phil. Hola, Gregory. Franco Panizo, Miami Total Football. For you, Phil, obviously it's a big game for you guys, but it does come in a busy stretch of MLS matches. In terms of the rotation, how do you planned for tomorrow? Will we see rotation at some point during the game? How are you going about minutes? Obviously, you have a big game on Saturday as well.
They'll all play. All my squad will play tomorrow night. I can promise that we're allowed unlimited substitutions. Both teams there in the early parts of their pre-season. So every single player will get an opportunity to play tomorrow night. I think I owe that to the players that have been playing and that have not been playing. And it's funny, you think about the players that have not been playing, you think, oh, it's a perfect game for them to come in. But the players that have been playing major minutes, say the 3 games last week, all want to play in this game tomorrow. And that's the attitude and the characters of players that we've brought to this football club. So they will all get opportunities. There will be rotation within the game from both sides, I'm sure. And, it's a game where we'll see who can perform in front of 20,000 people, who can perform against the best. And I really hate when we're saying about we're in a tough stretch. We're playing Barcelona at home. We should just look at this as the greatest opportunity to go and pit your skill against the best players in the world. And I think that's the attitude of my players. As soon as we came off on Saturday, Gregory will tell you, we said, right, we've got to go and beat Barcelona. That's the next challenge, not New York City. New York City will look after itself. We've got to go and beat Barcelona. And when you say those words, you think about the challenge of those words that are being said. I think that's what makes me and my players get out of bed in the morning.
Next question, Jose, then we'll go to the back.
Thank you. My question is for Gregory.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest experience I learned in my career was I suppose being at Manchester United and going to Everton and training with great players, but realizing that these great players are all human. They have the same insecurities. They still have bad games. They get nervous. They still make bad passes. And the biggest thing that I will say to the younger players that will play tomorrow night is that they're all human beings. They're just really good at playing football. And you can respect a player or you can be in awe of a player. And we can't be in awe of this team playing tomorrow night. I think the last 3 or 4 days, every time Lewandowski signs, Rafinha signs, somebody else signs, you think, oh, dear me, we're in for a really tough game. But we shouldn't be scared of that challenge. And that's the biggest thing. I remember going to Everton and the players at Everton talking about the players at Manchester United like they were almost godlike figures. And I had trained with them for the last 18 years and they were just normal people. So I tried to pass on my experiences that, they still make bad passes like we do. They still get nervous. They still have bad games. They still have bad moments in their lives. They're still, they're still human beings at the end of the day. So we've got to treat this as just like we would any other match, even though we're playing Barcelona. And we've got to show our qualities. We've not got to be scared of the challenge. We've got to be excited and motivated for that challenge. Because at the end of the day, it's like I say, I think we'll see a lot about our players tomorrow in terms of how much we can develop them, how much they need to go in terms of their development, and whether they can handle occasion like this, which I think is always the biggest thing. Can you play in an environment like this tomorrow night? 20,000 people shown around the world. Have you got the temperament, the quality, and the ability to handle the occasion as well as the game? They can handle the game, no problem, but it's more the occasion, who you're playing against. And I think that's my experience of these games and playing against the best teams. You've got to be able to have the right temperament to play in these games.
Francisco Rosa from the Sun Sentinel. Phil, seeing the fanfare surrounding this game, what does that reinforce to you about, the footballing community that is South Florida and the fan base that you guys have here?
Well, I think you look at Inter Miami as a football club. I think this game probably suits the direction in which we want to take the club. We see ourselves as someone that wants to make inroads into the world in terms of the world knowing about Inter Miami. Miami's a fantastic place to come and have your holiday. We've got some great sporting teams in this area as well. And we want football and soccer to be at the forefront of everybody's mind tomorrow night. And then tomorrow night, what that will give us, hopefully the people that come to the stadium tomorrow night to say, do you know what, we're going to come more to this stadium. We're going to fill out when we play Cincinnati and Columbus and Toronto, because we've got an unbelievable section of supporters that come week in, week out. Now the next step for this football club is to have more nights like against Barcelona. And that's filling out stadiums, big crowds, big games. And I think when I joined this football club, that was the vision for this football club, to sell out the stadiums, to have days like today where there's 50 to 60 media people, and we're attracting the best best clubs and the best players in the world to play at our stadium. And, we are early in our expansion. We are still in the building phase, but this is probably the biggest step that we've took in terms of the caliber of team that we've got coming.
Do we have any more questions in the room? Good. Okay, so that concludes Inter Miami's press conference. Give us a couple of minutes and Barcelona will arrive.
Thank you, guys.